Good evening, children. Good evening, Tanya, Madhumita, Sanjay, and Sindhu.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Netra. So see the first question. A cone of height 24 centimeters has a curved surface area of 550 centimeters square. Find its volume.
Good evening, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. It's not working suddenly.
Good evening. No problem. Good evening, Netra. Yeah, children. Let's see the answer. Don't write anything. Do not write anything now. So see here, a cone of height 24 centimeters, H is 24 centimeters, has a CSA, curved surface area is 550 centimeters square. Find its volume. Now we know to find the volume of a cone, we need the radius and height. We need the values of R and H. Okay. Now for a cone, we have three values: radius, perpendicular height, and slant height. Given any two, you can find the third one using the relation L square is equal to H square plus R square. Okay, you don't have to know all the three values. If you know any two of the three, you can find the third one. Using this relation, L square is equal to H square plus R square. So here in the question, we are not given two also. We are given only one, that is H. We only know H. We don't know R. We don't know L. See, when you know two of them, you can find the third one using L square is equal to H square plus R square. But we know only one. We only know H is 24. So using this, you cannot find L or R because you know only one value. You cannot find L or R. So H is 24. The curved surface area is 550. But we'll have to find the volume for which we need the radius and height. So let's see how to do this. Okay, so H is equal to 24 centimeters. CSA is equal to 550. CSA is pi RL. Pi RL is the formula to find the CSA is equal to 550. Now, for volume, you need R and H. So you don't want L, right? You don't want L at all. For volume, you need to find the values of R and H. R and H. H is given to you, 24 centimeters. You want R, you don't want L. So what we'll do in the next step, pi R, what is L? Root of H square plus R square. Yes or no? Is equal to 550. Now, why are we writing L as root of H square plus R square? Because to find volume, you need only R and H. H is 24. So we need R. We don't want L. So we're taking L from the picture. We are removing L from the picture. So instead of L, we are writing root of H because L square is equal to H square plus R square. So what is L? It is root of H square plus R square. So instead of L, we write root of H square plus R square. So pi R instead of L, root of H square plus R square is equal to 550. Is equal to 550. Now, what's the value of pi? 22 by 7. Okay, into R. Do you know R? We don't know R. So R is R only. Into root of H square, 24 square. That means 576. 24 square, which is 576. 576. H square plus R square. R square is R only. Okay, is equal to 550. All right. Now, what you do, you can transpose the 22 by 7. So R into square root of 576 plus R square is equal to 550 into 7 by 22. Correct? Now simplify. 22 ones are 22. 22 fours are 44. 11 remains. 22 fives are 110. So you can simplify. Or you can even simplify using the tables of 11 first and then proceed. So what do we have? Okay. So this is what we have. R into root of 576 plus R square is equal to 45 into 7. 45 into 7, 5 7 35, 3 carry over, 315, 315. Now you want to get rid of the square root symbol. You want to get rid of the square root symbol. So you have to square on both the sides. In order to get rid of the square root symbol, you'll have to square it on both the sides. All right. So square on both the sides. Square on both the sides. Why should you square on both the sides? Because you want to get rid of the square root symbol. So square on both the sides. So you will get R square into the square root and square will get cancelled. Like, so it will be 576 plus R square. Correct? Is equal to 315 into 315. 999,225. 999,225. Now when you multiply, you will get 576 R square plus R to the power 4 is equal to 99225. Or you have R to the power 4 plus 576 R square minus 99225 is equal to 0. Why am I having a different... Oh, I didn't cancel it correctly, children. Oh, 22 twos are. I said fours are. I've written fours are. Sorry. 22 twos are. Two times. I made a mistake while writing there. Let's do it again. 22 ones are 22. 22 twos are 44. I wrote 4. 22 2 times is 44. 11 remains, so 5. So R into square root of 576 plus R square is equal to 175. After this, you know what to do. That's what I have here. 175 squaring on both the sides. Okay. All right. So now we were here, children. This number was incorrect. In my earlier working, this number was incorrect because I had written some other number instead of 175. Now you got it right. So this is the biquadratic equation. This is a biquadratic equation. Biquadratic equation, which can be solved like a quadratic equation by splitting the middle term. Which can be solved like a quadratic equation by splitting the middle term. So we split the middle term. We find two numbers. We find two numbers whose sum is 576 and whose product is minus 30625. Okay, so it's a biquadratic equation where the sum is 576 and the product is minus 3625. So we need to find two numbers which satisfies the sum and product. And the two numbers are 625 and minus 49. Remember that in this question, you know, both the numbers, when you split the middle term, both the numbers have to be perfect squares. Both the numbers have to be perfect squares. Mostly when you solve a biquadratic equation, at least for 9th standard level, when we solve a biquadratic equation, when you split the middle term, you know, the two numbers, forget the plus minus sign. Don't worry about the sign. The numbers will be perfect squares, mostly. 625 is a perfect square, 49 is a perfect square. So we need to find the two numbers which satisfies the sum and product. Is that understood, children? Online students?
Yes, ma'am.
Like you do a quadratic equation, like you solve a quadratic equation, in the same way, sum product split the middle term. Okay, now instead of 576 R square, you are going to write plus 625 R square. You should write R square, not R, because the middle term is 576 R square. 576 R square. So you must write 625 R square and minus 49 R square. Then group the first two terms. Group the first two terms, group the last two terms. R square is common. R square is common. Then you know all this. And here 49 is common. And then you know how to write this. So r square minus 49 into r square plus, I have made a mistake while typing. It's not 125, it's 625. I made a mistake. It is 625. Okay. R square plus 625 into r square minus 45. So when you equate, r square minus 49 is equal to 0. R square minus 49 is equal to 0. R square is equal to 49. R is equal to 7. Here, when you equate, r square plus 625 is equal to 0. You can r square is minus 625. It's a negative number. And you cannot find the square root. See, r will be equal to square root of minus 625. Square root of a negative number is not defined. It's imaginary. There is no real number for this. Square root of minus 625 is not a real number. It's an imaginary number, which you will learn in 11th standard after 10th. So that means this is not possible. This is not possible. This one is not possible. So the value of r is 7. The value of r is 7. Now you know the value of r, and the value of h is already given to you in the question. So use the formula 1 by 3 pi r square h and find the volume. And find the volume. Take a screenshot, children.
Taken, ma'am.
Yeah.
Taken, ma'am.
Yes, children. This is understood. To find volume, you need the values of r and h. H is given to you in the question. R is not given. So we have to find r to find volume. To find r, we are given the value of the curved surface area, which is 550. Work with that. In the curved surface area, we have L. Take away L. That's not needed for us. Because for volume, we want only r and h. H is given. We want r, we don't want L. So take away L and write it as root of h square plus r square. Okay. So I've already worked that here for you. L is equal to, you can see it here. L is equal to root of h square plus r square plus h square, r square plus 24 square. So r square plus 576. And I've substituted this here. Instead of L, instead of L, I've substituted this. I've worked that part here itself. So instead of L, I have substituted root of r square plus 576. Children, I'll finish the class a little early because physical class I have only Arjun here. All right, so I'll not give you time to write in today's class. I'll not give you time to write. So I'll wind up the class a half an hour earlier so that you can finish it at home. Meaning you're all at home, so you can finish it later. After the class, you finish it. You write down all the contents in the class workbook. So this is the second one. CSA is given, height is given. Again, similar situation like the earlier one. CSA is given, height is given. You need to find the volume of the cone. Exactly this one. See it, exactly this one. CSA is given 550. Here CSA is 188.4. And here height is 24. And we have to find volume. Here height is 8. And we'll have to find volume. It's a cone only. But here pi is 3.14. Here nothing was given. So you should take 22 by 7. If nothing is given, you should take 22 by 7. You cannot take 3.14 by yourself. If the value of pi is not given, you must take 22 by 7. So here it's given explicitly 3.14. Then take 3.14. Then take 3.14. So working is similar to the first one, children. Similar to the first one. Except that pi is 3.14. So see here. Exactly like the earlier one. So this can be, you'll learn it there and again you will work this so you can register it better. Very similar to the earlier one. Again, split the middle term, find the two values, of r square plus 100 is equal to 0, or r square minus 36 is equal to 0. So r square is equal to minus 100. This is not possible because r will be square root of minus 100. R is equal to square root of minus 100, which is imaginary. So this is not possible. So r square is equal to 36. R is equal to square root of 36, which is 6 meters. And now we found R. R is 6. And height is given to you in the question 8. Find the volume. Fine, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So this is somewhat important. Way back in 2013, 2014, this question was, like a default question. Most schools used to give this question in the exam or test which had volumes and surface areas. Yeah. I'm sending the pictures in the group on WhatsApp. So if you want, you can take a screenshot. Otherwise, you can still find it on WhatsApp. Next one. Yeah. So if H is the height of the cone, C is the curved surface area of the cone, and V is the volume of the cone, then prove that this expression is equal to 0. The value of this expression is 0. I'll tell you the question again. If H is the height of the cone, and if C is the curved surface area of the cone, and if V is the volume of the cone, then prove that the value of this expression is 0. Okay, so let's start working this. Here, 3 pi, we need to prove this is 0. So we are taking the LHS. We are taking the left-hand side. What is the left-hand side? 3 pi V H cubed minus, it's a capital C, I think. I'll change this. It's a capital C, children. Yeah, so capital C square H square plus 9V square. This is the left-hand side. We'll have to work this and show that it's equal to 0. Now, what can you do next? Is equal to 3. Don't take pi as 22 by 7. There should be another pi, no? There's something wrong with the question. Okay. It looks correct. Okay, somehow I felt it was wrong. Let me work and just check. All right. So 3, don't take the value of pi as 22 by 7. Have pi as pi itself. Okay, V. What is V, children? 1 by 3. What is V? 1 by 3 pi r square h. Okay, into h cubed. Into h cubed. Correct? What is V, children? Volume. And what is volume? 1 by 3 pi r square h. Why? Because it's cone. Then minus. What's the value of C, children? What is the value of C? Pi r L. C is the curved surface area, which is pi r L. C is the curved surface area of the cone, which is pi r L. But in the next step, we'll write L as root of. See, now you write L, children. Okay, when you're working, you write L. Now, in the next step, you should replace L with root of h square plus r square. Then C square was a whole square. Let me explain this. C square. What is C? Pi r L. Instead of L, we are writing root of h square plus r square. Understood? Then C square. So the whole square into h square. You can see the h square plus 9V square. This is understood by all. 3 pi as it is. V is volume. So 1 by 3 pi r square h cubed as it is. For V and C, we substitute the formula. For V, we write 1 by 3 pi r square h. And for C, it is pi r L. But L, we write it as root of h square plus r square. Now, next step. Don't. Okay, sorry. I thought there was a 3 here. Now, can we cancel the 3 and 3? Yes. Okay, you can cancel the 3 and 3. Then pi into pi square, correct? Pi into pi. See, what is this now? Pi into, it's pi into pi r square h. Yes or no? Pi into pi r square h. So it will be pi square r square h. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What is pi into pi r square h? Pi square r square h. See, I'm sure you all have a doubt now. When there's a difference between pi into pi plus r square plus h and pi into pi r square h. There's a difference between these two. I'm sure some of you have that doubt now, so it will be clarified. See here, when it is pi into pi plus r square plus h, then you'll have to multiply pi into pi square. Pi square plus pi into r square is pi r square and pi into h is pi h. Okay, like this. But here it is not pi into r square and pi into h. This is only one term and it should be multiplied with pi. It's only one term. Then why are you multiplying pi into r square and pi into h? It's only one term. Pi into pi square, r square h, that's all. Do you get the difference between the two children?
Yes, ma'am.
You should multiply pi. If there are different terms, you should multiply pi with every term. But here pi r square h is only one term. Into pi. Pi into pi square, that's all. It's not pi square, pi r square and pi h. Do not multiply pi with pi r square and h. Pi r square h is only one term. Into pi is pi square r square h. If there are different terms like pi plus r square plus h, then you should multiply pi into r square, pi into h. Because they're different terms. Am I clear, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so be careful while multiplying. All right. So pi square r square h. Okay, then there's that h cubed here. There's that h cubed here. Pi square r square h. Then this h cubed minus this is squared. This one is squared, so it'll be pi square r square. And this one, when you square, what will happen? The square root will go away. So it will become h square plus r square like this. All right. Then this h square, which is already outside, that h square plus 9. Now there's a square here, so you cannot cancel 3 and 9 because there's a power here 2. There's a power here 2, so you cannot cancel 3 and 9. So 9 into square it. 1 by 9 pi square r to the power 4 h square. Is that correct? We'll have to square everything. You'll have to square everything. 1 by 3, the whole square is 1 by 9. Like what is ABC, the whole square? A square, B square, C square. Yeah. So like ABC, the whole square is A square, B square, C square. Like that. 1 by 3 square is 1 by 9. Pi square is pi square. R square, the whole square is r to the power 4 and h square. Now you can cancel the 9 and 9. Now this is pi square r square h to the power 4. Correct? Minus, yeah. Now you need to multiply this with h square and this with r square because they're two different terms. So it will be pi square r square h square. And can you see another h square here, children, outside? So
Yes,
can we
ma'am.
yeah. So you'll have to multiply like this. You'll have to multiply like this. See here. Multiply pi square r square with h square and this h square. So it will become pi square r square h to the power 4, correct? Then multiply minus into plus minus minus into plus minus, then multiply pi square r square and h square. So it will be pi square r to the power 4 h square. Pi square r square into r square is r to the power 4 and h square. Plus pi square r to the power 4 h square. Now what happens? See, read the terms. Pi square r square h to the power 4 minus pi square r, where is it? Minus pi square r square h to the power 4. See, they're the same terms, but with opposite signs. These two are the same terms with opposite signs, so they get cancelled. And when you look at this, these two, pi square r power 4 h square, pi square r power 4 h square, both are the same. This is minus, this is plus, so they get cancelled. So the answer is 0. So we proved that the value of the given expression is 0. So how to do this? Where there is V, write 1 by 3 pi r square h, the formula. And where there is C, curved surface area, write pi r L. But instead of L, you should write root of h square plus r square. That's all. Do this and it's just squaring, simplifying. 0. Finally, you have 4 terms. There are only 2 terms, one positive, one negative. So they get cancelled and 0. That's fine, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah. The radius and the height of a cone are in the ratio 3:4. If its volume is given to you, what is the radius? What's the slant height? Pi is equal to 3.14. So see here, ratio is 3:4. Ratio is 3:4. So let the radius be 3x and let the height be 4x. And volume is given. So volume is equal to this one. 1 by 3 pi r square h is equal to 301.44. Now 1 by 3 into pi. What is pi? 3.14. What is r square? 3x into 3x. R square. So 3x into 3x. Into h. H is 4x. Is equal to 301.44. Is equal to 301.44. So now x into x into x is x cubed. X into x into x is x cubed. And then transpose the numbers. Transpose the numbers. See, this will be here only. This, I've cancelled this 3 and 3, children. I've cancelled 3 and 3 here. I've cancelled this 3 and this 3. And then what is remaining? 3.14, 3 and 4. See, they go to the other side for division. 3, 4 and 3.14. Correct? You can see this 3.14, 3 and 4 down here for division. And on this side, we have x and x cubed. So x cubed is equal to transpose the numbers. Then shift the decimal point. 1, 2. 1, 2. Equal number of decimal points you're shifting in the numerator and denominator. You're shifting equal number of decimal places in the numerator and denominator. So that gets cancelled. See here, 1, 2 and 1, 2 gone. All right. So you can see the next step is without the decimal point. And then when you simplify, cancel and all that, you will get x cubed is equal to 8. Cancel, simplify. You can simplify it. Okay, and then you get 8. X cubed is equal to 8. All right, children? X cubed is equal to 8. So x is equal to the cube root of 8. X is equal to cube root of 8. X is equal to 2. Now x is 2. That means the radius is 3 into 2, 6 centimeters. And the height is 4 into 2, 8 centimeters. Now we should find what radius. We found the radius. Radius we found is 6 centimeters. What is its slant height? We found the radius. What's the slant height? What is the slant height? L is equal to root of h square plus r square. Correct? So r square we found 6. 6 square, 36. And h square, 8 square, 64. So root of 100, which is 10. Root of 100, which is 10. Yes, Sanjay, Sindhu, Madhumita, Danya, Netra, understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Again, this question is very important. The simplification part, is very, very important. That is, we sometimes forget to multiply x into x into x is x cubed. We just write, sometimes we may just write x like this. Sometimes we write x, so there you'll have to be careful. Fine, children?
Yes,
Arjun,
ma'am.
any questions? Just a minute, children. Yeah. The base radii of two right circular cones. The base radii of two right circular cones of the same height. The height is the same. Both the cones have the same height, but different radii. One is 3x, the other is 5x. Okay. The base radii of two right circular cones of the same height are in the ratio 3:5. So one radius is 3x, the other is 5x. Find the ratio of their volumes. Find the ratio of their volumes. So straight away, you should not, whenever we have to find ratio, listen to me carefully, children. Whenever we have to find ratio, don't find the volume of the first cone, volume of the second cone separately. Whenever it is ratio, find the ratio straight away. Do not find the volume of the first cone, volume of the second cone separately and then find the ratio. Never do that. In mathematics, wherever it is ratio, find the ratio straight away. Now, in this case, you should find the ratio of their volumes. So what you can do is, you may find the volume of the first cone, volume of the second cone, and then find the ratio. Don't do that. You must work like this. This way, you'll only save time, nothing else. So volume of one cone by the volume of the other cone is equal to 1/3 pi R1 square H1 by 1/3 pi R2 square H2. Yes or no, children? We are calling the radius and height of the first cone as R1 H1, the radius and height of the second cone as R2 H2. Oh yeah, height is the same. Sorry. Arjun correctly told me the height is the same. So you don't have to call it H1, H2. It's H1. Thank you, Arjun. Yeah, he's right. The height is the same. No, so height is H in both the cases. So the radii R1 H, first cone, radius is different. So R1, height of both the cones is the same. Height of both the cones is the same. So H. Radius different. So R1, R2. If the heights were different, then H1, H2. In this case, the heights are the same. So HH. 1 by 3 pi R1 square H by 1 by 3 pi R2 square H. Now what happens? 1 by 3, 1 by 3. Pi. H. Everything is cancelled. So volume 1 by volume 2 is equal to R1 by R2, the whole square. Or you can write R1 square by R2 square, anything. It's R1 square by R2 square, which can also be written as R1 by R2, the whole square. Like you have A square by B square, no? You can write it as A by B, the whole square. You can write it as A by B, the whole square. So you have R1 square by R2 square, which can be written as R1 by R2, the whole square. What is R1? 3x. What is R2? 5x, the whole square. So x and x gets cancelled. 3 by 5 the whole square, which is 9 by 25. So the ratio of their volumes is 9 by 25 or 9 is to 25. Easy, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's what I've written here. You can see here. So it gets cancelled. So R1 square by R2 square. So, okay, you can do it like this also. Both are correct. So 3x the whole square by 5x the whole square, 9x square by 25x square. So x square and x square gets cancelled, 9 by 25. So what I told you was, both are correct. What I told you was V1 by V2, which is equal to, after this step, it will be R1 by R2, the whole square. So V1 by V2 is equal to R1 is 3x by R2 is 5x, the whole square. So x and x gets cancelled. So V1 by V2 is equal to what? 9 by 25. So the required ratio is 9 by, anyways, you can do it. The required ratio is 9 by 24. A conical tent is 9 meters high and the radius of its base is 12 meters. So for the cone, we only want radius and height. With the radius and height, if needed, we can always find the slant height. Yeah, children. So for the conical tent, we are given the height 9 meters, radius 12 meters. So we can answer any question now. Sorry. Yeah. Fine. Now the question is, how many persons can be accommodated in the tent if each person requires 2 meters square on the ground and 15 meter cube of space to breathe in? All right. Now, for the conical tent, you can find whatever you want because you know the radius, you know the height. If you want, you can find the slant height. Then what is the question? The question is, some people have to be accommodated in the tent. Okay. You want to accommodate some people in the tent. You don't know how many people can come. So we'll have to calculate that. Now, what are the criteria given? If one person stands, no, he will take up an area of 2 meters square on the ground. If one person gets into the tent, then he will take up an area of 2 meters square on the ground. And when he stands, he's also occupying some portion of the space, right? When the person stands, when the person is inside the tent, he takes up some amount of space in the tent, and that space is 15 meter cubed. All right. So when one person is in the tent, the area occupied on the ground is 2 meters square and the space occupied is 15 meter cubed. Okay. Now we have to understand, we'll have to calculate how many people can be accommodated in the tent. So what is important is the area of the base, the area of the floor. It's a conical tent. So the floor is circular. So what's the area of the circle? Area of the floor. Area of the circular floor. Circular floor. Why circular floor? Because it's a cone. And then how is the base or the floor? It's a circle. So what's the area of the circular floor? Pi r square. Pi r square. So 22 by 7 into r square. What is the radius? 12 into 12. 12 into 12. What happened? You want to say something? Okay. So radius is 12 into 12. All right. So how much do you get? I'm using the calculator, children. So 12 into 12 into 22 divided by 7. I'm getting approximately 452.57. 452.57. Okay, meter square. This is the area of the floor. This is the area of the floor, children. Pi r square. This is the area of the floor. Now, how many people can stand then? Number of people. Number of people who can stand. Number of people who can. The answer is there behind. I'm just roughly working. So the number of people who can stand is 450
by 2, ma'am.
by 2. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
452.57 divided by 2. So 226, 226.285. Now we have to we'll have to just take away that 0.285. That means 226 people can be accommodated. Considering the floor area, you can accommodate 226 people. Correct, children? Because you cannot round this to 29. You cannot. You can either accommodate 226 people or 227 people. But since it is 0.285, 227, the 227th person cannot come in because he does not have space. He does not have 2 meters square completely. There is little space. There is not space. There is little area on the floor, but one person cannot come in and stand. There is, after 226 people stand inside the tent, there is little floor area. But that is not enough for one person because he needs 2 meters square. So you should round it off to 226 and not 227. So considering the floor area, 226 people can stand in the tent. Now we have to find the space in the tent. What is the space in the tent? 1 by 3 pi r square h. Remember this 226, okay? Okay, now space in the tent. Space in the tent is equal to 1 by 3 pi r square h. 1 by 3 pi into r square. 12 into 12 into h, 9. All right. So I'm using the calculator. So it's I think I'm right. I'll just do it again. 22 into 144 into 9 divided by 21. 1357. So I'm getting 1357.71. So that means 1357. Okay. So the space in the tent is 1357. Okay. Or you can take this. It's a non-terminating decimal. So 0.71, very 428.571. Like this, it goes on. It goes on. It's a non-terminating decimal. So we just round it off to 72, or you can have the 71 also. So the number of people, considering the space in the tent. Earlier we found the number of people considering the floor area. Here we're finding the number of people considering the space available in the tent. So number of people is equal to number of people that can be accommodated considering the space is equal to 1357.71 divided by 15. Okay, so divided by 15. So you're getting some 90.514. Okay, 90.514, which is nothing but 90. Which is 90. See, children, I'll tell you one more thing. You can have this as a fraction itself. You don't have to even find the decimal value. You can have this as a improper fraction itself. See, see, you can cancel like 3 1s or 3 4s are. And then multiply 22 into 4 into 12 into 9 by 7. You can have it like that itself. You don't have to convert it to a decimal like this. Then that fraction divided by 15 you must do. That fraction divided by 15. Now, this fraction you should find the decimal value. At this 1 minute, let me work it again. That's better. Space in the tent. Space in the tent is equal to 1 by 3 into 22 by 7 into 12 into 12 into 9. Okay. So 3 1s are 3 4s are. That is equal to 22 into 48 into 9, 9504 by 7. You can have it like this itself. You don't have to find the decimal value and spend time. We don't have to find the decimal value and waste time. This is enough. So now floor area, now the number of people considering the space is equal to 9504 by 7 divided by 15. So it will be 9504 by 7 into 1 by 15. Yes or no, children? Now simplify this. So it will be divided by, what's 15 sevens? 105. So I'm getting 90.514, something like this. All right. So see, children, please remember, do not spend time, do not waste time calculating the decimal value here. Have it as a fraction itself. So here divided by 15 into 1 by 15. Here you will have to find the decimal value, which is 90.5142. Goes on like that, which is 90. So now people standing in the tent have to breathe. And to breathe, they need 15 meter cube of space. People standing in the tent have to breathe. And to breathe, each one needs 15 meter cube of space. So considering that 90 people can stand. But if you consider the floor area, you can accommodate oh, I cleared that screen. Considering the floor area, you can accommodate 226 people. In the sense, the floor area is sufficient to bring in 226 people in the tent, but they'll suffocate because there is not sufficient air for so many people to breathe. Because one person needs 15 meter cube. So if the floor area is sufficient or is enough to accommodate 226 people, but if you bring all of them in, they don't have the air to breathe. Only 90 people can have air to breathe. So will you accommodate 226 or 90? What's the answer?
90, ma'am.
90.
90. 90. You cannot allow all the 226 people to come because they'll, you know what? It'll suffocate. They can't breathe. So you should not consider the floor area here. Though you can accommodate 226 people, since only 90 of 226 can breathe. In fact, when you bring all 226 and say which 90 will breathe, all of them will breathe, and after a point they'll all suffocate. It's not that 90 of them can breathe. 226 people, if they come in, the air will be sufficient for some time, and after that they'll all suffocate. So you must allow only 90 people inside the tent. Correct? That's how you sensibly decide, right? Yeah. So let me just make some corrections in the slide and send it to you later, children, because I just want to, okay, or I'll do it here itself so that even you know it. So don't find the decimal value. Have it as 3168 by 7 meter square itself. Don't find this decimal value. All right. So here also, what will you write? 3168 by 7 divided by 2. So 3168 by 7 into 1 by 2. Okay, so that will be 226.28, which is equal to 226. So what am I trying to say, children? Don't spend time finding the decimal value. Have it as a fraction itself. Then the fraction divided by 2. 226.28. So it goes on like that. So 226. Here also don't find the decimal value. Don't find this. So you can simplify 3 ones are 3 fours are. Then nothing else can be done. So it will be 22 into 4 into 108. 9504. So it is equal to 9504 by 7 meter cubed. So maximum number of people who will have enough space to breathe will be 9504 by 7 divided by 15. Okay, so it will be 9504 by 7 divided by 15, which is 9504 by 7 into 1 by 15. So when you work that, you get 90.9504 divided by 90.51, which is 90. So between 226 and 90, the smaller number is 90. Hence, 90 persons can be accommodated. Understood, children?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Correct. A conical tent is to accommodate 11 persons. That means 11 people can stand in the tent. A conical tent is to accommodate 11 persons. Each person must have 4 meters square of space on the ground and 20 meter cube of air to breathe. Find the height of the tent. Find the height of the tent. So see here, 11 people can stand inside the tent. They can stand. See here, a conical tent is to accommodate. It will accommodate 11 people, and each one has 4 meters square on the ground. So floor area is equal to 11 into 4, 44 meters square. Correct? Floor area is equal to 11 into 4, 44 meters square. That means pi r square is equal to 44. 22 by 7 into r square is equal to 44. So r square is equal to 44 into 7 by 22. So r square is equal to 14. R is equal to square root of 14. The radius is square root of 14. 11 people can stand. Floor area for one person is 4 meters square. So for all the 11 persons will be 44 meters square. Floor area is a circle. Circular area. Pi r square is 44. When you work that, you find r is equal to root of 14. Because 22 ones are 22 twos are. So 7 twos are 14. R square. R is square root of 14. Next. Each person needs 20 meters cube of air to breathe. Okay, so 11 people. So space or volume, space in the tent, or volume of air, volume of the air in the tent, or space in the tent. No. Is equal to 11 into 20. Yes or no, children? So it is 220 meter cube. That means 1 by 3 pi r square h is equal to 220. Because the space meaning volume is 220. So 1 by 3 pi r square h is 220. Correct, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Into 22 by 7 into r square. You can directly write 14. R square is 14. R square is here 14. Arjun, you're not looking at the board. Into h. What's the value of h? We have to find h. We don't have the value of h. Is equal to 220. When you work this, you'll get the value of h. Okay, I've not found R also because I've used pi r square straight away. I've used pi r square value straight away. Pi r square is 44, right? So instead of pi r square, I'm using 44. Yeah, I think this is better. You can work it like this. See, I've not found R also because area of the base pi r square is 44. So here we have pi r square, right? So straight away instead of pi r square, you can use 44. Don't use 22 by 7. This one is totally 44. So this one is totally 44. 1 by 3 into 44 into h is 220. On working that, you find h is equal to 15 meters. H is equal to 15 meters. All right, children. It's time. I just want to wind. Yeah, I don't know if I told you. I don't remember if I. Did I tell you all online students that I'll wind up a little early because there's only Arjun in the physical class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So I thought, okay, fine. So I'll just explain a few sums. So now the writing part, you do it now. I've shared all the pictures. It's already there on WhatsApp. You've all received it. So now once you leave the meeting, please get back to work. See the pictures on WhatsApp and complete your classwork, children, else you'll forget. And all the sums we did today are all important. All this is very important for 10th standard also. It's not that you will not get it for this exam in 9th standard, whether you get it for the exam in your 9th standard or not. This knowledge is very important for 10th standard. Please don't forget to work out all these sums in your classwork notebook right away after the class. Okay, so this I'm not explaining now, children. I'll just send the picture. Please complete this and remind me that I have to explain this in the next class. I'm not explaining this now. Please complete this also in your notebook. And you must remind me that I have to explain this in the next class. All right. Fine, children. All the pictures are on WhatsApp now. Now, please clarify one thing. Tomorrow, I have scheduled a class for you from 3 to 5 p.m. Are you all available? Because today itself, see, we have 5, 6. Netra, can you attend the class tomorrow?
Ma'am, actually, I'm in Madurai, ma'am. I don't know when I'm coming, ma'am.
Okay. No, not physical class. Even whether
Yes,
online
ma'am.
only, I'm asking you.
Yes, ma'am. Online I will attend.
You can attend tomorrow. Danya?
Yes, ma'am. I can attend on online, ma'am.
Yeah, Madhumita?
I'll attend the online classes tomorrow, ma'am.
Okay.
Next week
Sanjay?
also, I won't be able to come to the physical class, ma'am. I have exams going on.
Okay, fine. Sanjay and Sindhu, online tomorrow. Are you available?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the 5 of you here today, we can attend the class tomorrow. Fine, then we can have. Arjun? Okay. So Arjun also says that he might go out, but if he's available, he'll take it online only. So that means there is no physical class tomorrow. Tomorrow alone, there's no physical class. Because Raju also usually attends physical classes. He told me that he's not available. This week, he said he will not come for 2 classes. So today and tomorrow, he said he's not available. He'll not take up the classes, which means tomorrow there is class, but only online class. Tomorrow there is class, only online class from 3 to 5. All right, children. So that's it for today's session. Thank you so much. You may leave the call.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Arjun. See you. Please complete the classwork. Don't forget. Okay. Bye. Thank you, children.